ChatGPT 5 is one of the biggest stories in 2025, but most agents are using it completely wrong. In this video, I'm covering the pros and cons of ChatGPT 5 alongside two other AI tools and exactly how and when to use them to create banger YouTube ads. So when you're choosing an AI model, you need to understand what purpose it's going to serve for you at whatever particular point that you're currently in. Tool choice absolutely matters depending on what you're doing. And you can have the same ad budget, the same targeting, but different AI copy, and you can literally have a 300% difference in the cost per lead because different AI models will produce dramatically different copy, language, results, etc. And you need to know when to use which. Now, another thing that matters is your business variables, right? Certain AI models are going to work well for certain variables within your business. Experience level matters. If you're a new agent, ChatGPT 5 might be better. If you're in like a luxury market, Claude might be working better. Campaign complexity, maybe Notebook LM is going to work better for you. But you need to know which AI model makes the most sense for you because, again, they all have specific tasks that they do the best. So today we're going to dive into the pros and cons of each AI tool. We're going to go over the specific use cases where each tool shines in whatever specific case that it's in. We're going to go over real ROI numbers from actual campaigns that are actually winning. We're going to come up with a decision framework to pick the right tool and go over red flags that mean you're using the wrong AI model. So first up, we have ChatGPT 5. Now, the pros of using ChatGPT 5 are a couple of different things. So number one, the speed is extremely fast that it's able to produce your result. You can literally complete entire campaigns in under 60 seconds. And it uses simple language, which means it converts across all different demographics. And it's extremely beginner friendly, meaning that if you were to start as a new agent today and you want to rapid test some new ad creatives, it has the entire systemic structure and it's extremely easy to edit in order for you to accomplish your goals. However, with all this being said, there are some cons to it. There's an 800 word max, meaning you can't go over that without having to pay for a subscription model that's $20 to $200. And most of the time it requires multiple different prompts in order for you to achieve the desired script. And by multiple, I mean like several, 8, 9, 10 different prompts. And most of the time, it also has generic examples. And sometimes it hallucinates. It provides incorrect case studies. It'll provide information that's just not true or outdated. And the other thing about this is it's not for long form. So if you have a long ad or a VSL and it's over something like 3 minutes, most of the time it's really never going to perform the way you like it because simply it just ends up hallucinating once it gets past a certain character point. But this is best for newer agents that are trying to just get quick ads out there that are under 60 seconds and looking to just test different variables. So what that would look like in practice is something like this. Okay, so I just went into ChatGPT. I'm using a temporary chat because I don't want it to go up in the history. But basically all I said is something like this. You're a top new real estate agent creating the highest converting YouTube ad for a seller's campaign in Tucson, Arizona. Make it under 30 seconds, or actually should have said 60 seconds, and use the hook story close framework with 5 problem hook variations. And watch how fast it's going to do it. There you go. You literally have an entire ad ready to go. Literally, this made this in under 15 seconds. It's wild. But you have the 5 different hook variations. So are you worried about your Tucson home? Or are you worried your Tucson home will sit on the market too long, thinking about selling, but you're afraid you're leaving money on the table, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes into the story. Hi, I'm your name, one of Tucson's fastest growing real estate agents. I've helped homeowners just like you sell their property quicker for money and with less hassle because you deserve more than just a sign in the yard. The truth is, most agents throw your listing online and hope it sells, but I use a proven marketing system that puts your home right in front of buyers, blah, blah, blah. And then so here we go. Basically, it has a call to action as well for a home value report and basically adding urgency, etc. And it's really good for basic generic ads for new and upcoming agents. This can work extremely well, like I said, for testing and variation. So, you can even copy this prompt and use it for yourself, however you want to do it, but that's ChatGPT. So next on the list, we have Claude, and specifically its model Sonnet 4. And the pros of this are really good. So there's a massive context, right? You can create full entire campaigns within just one prompt. And another huge thing that most people are looking for is that it sounds more creative and it sounds more natural, almost like a human's actually speaking, especially if you can train it that way. And it handles complex scenarios like sub-niches extremely well. So if you're in, divorce or luxury specific sub-niche markets, it's able to tailor your specific language, your verbiage, data, statistics to that sub niche extremely, extremely well. And it's really good for long form as well. So VSLs, longer ads, etc. The problem with Claude is that its processing is very slow. So it's like 60 to 90 seconds comparative to ChatGPT's, 15-second processing. And a lot of the time it becomes over detailed. So it requires heavy editing to find the core message. And every time you make it change within a different prompt, it takes again another 60 to 90 seconds to actually edit that thing. And the complexity is it's not as user-friendly as ChatGPT. You need to, play around with this AI model a little bit more, which is more time intensive. And depending on where you're at and your budget, your allocation, all that kind of stuff, as far as your time goes, this may not be for you. But if you have the time, you're an experienced agent, you're in the luxury market, you do video sales letters, or you're in like a complex buyer scenario, this would definitely be for you. And this is just an example of what that would look like. So now that we jumped into Claude, you can see here, I have a more thorough, drawn out prompt, okay? So for this, I have, you're an expert real estate copywriter creating a YouTube ads video script for real estate agent who specializes in families navigate the emotional process of selling their home due to inheritance or divorce. Write a compelling 60 to 90 second ad that feels personal, empathetic, and story driven. Use emotional storytelling that acknowledges the stress and complexity of the situation while positioning the agent as a trusted, compassionate guide who can simplify the process and maximize value. Include an emotional hook in the first 5 seconds, or a relatable story, clear positioning, smooth call to action. Make it conversational, cinematic, and emotionally engaging as if it were a short film trailer, okay? Now, this is obviously, you need to understand how prompts work and how to play with the AI in order to come up with something like this. But as you're going to see here in just a second, the results yielded are completely different comparative to ChatGPT. All right, so now that the script is done, as you can see here, it has obviously the visual. So it literally has like a potential to add B-roll in. It tells you exactly what the vibe should be. Then it has the script. So if you're watching this, chances are you're dealing with one of life's most stressful situations. Okay, that's a huge hook. That's a really good hook. I would use that myself. And here it goes. So maybe you've just inherited your parents' home and you're feeling overwhelmed by all the decisions. Do you keep it, sell it? Your siblings have different opinions and nobody knows where to start. Or maybe you're going through a divorce and the house that once represented your dreams now feels like this massive, complicated problem you have to solve when you're already emotionally drained. As you can see here, this is very conversational, very natural. This sounds like a human talking to you, right? As opposed to ChatGPT, it did sound more kind of robotic, generic, abstract, whereas this gets right into the nitty-gritty of the sub-niche and just makes you feel that this person knows exactly the pain points that you're experiencing. This is not even a person talking, right? But this just made somebody up. I'm Sarah. I've been exactly where you are. 12 years ago, I went through my own difficult divorce. Selling our home felt impossible, right? All of these things sound very natural and conversational. So if you're a niche agent, you're a luxury agent, and you're somebody that needs a script that's a bit longer, that's going to touch on and evoke more emotions, and you just want an overall better experience and honestly just higher conversion rate, this is the type of ad to go for, or this is the type of model to go for. And then finally, we have Notebook LM. So the pros of Notebook LM are the research depth that it goes into. It is absolutely phenomenal at expert market analysis and data synthesis, and really good for authority building videos. However, the major caveat here is that most of the times the vocabulary is way too complex, and this is just going to kill your conversions. It's extremely slow, meaning it takes about 3 to 5 minutes per output, and the input is extremely limited. It cannot handle comprehensive campaign prompts. And so because of all of this, Notebook LM is only really good for market research and educational content only. If you use it anything beyond that for like the actual scripting of the ads, it's probably not going to give you the result you're looking for, but you can use this in the beginning for some research. Now, my honest take here is the 80-20 rule to apply this. Use 80% of ChatGPT 5 basically for the speed, the simplicity, all the outlines and frameworks of what you're trying to accomplish as far as your ad goals goes. And then use the other 20% for Claude for the final drafts, the natural language, just polish up your already laid out framework in ChatGPT. And this is going to cut down your work time probably at least in half, if not a quarter of what you originally would be doing. And that's the basic rule as far as how to use those two tools. Now for some red flags, you're using this tool wrong or you're prompting incorrectly. If your ad copy is clunky, there's no real flow to it. If you're getting low click-through rates, despite, obviously having your targeting dialed in on the ads manager, the leads that are submitting their information are not converting to appointments, and it's taking way too long to actually create the campaign. So What my framework would be here is to start with ChatGPT 5, again, for that 80% for the initial drafts, test them, validate them with speed, and then use Claude to rewrite and add more creative and natural language to the winners, and just never use Notebook LM for lead generation specifically. You can use it for market research, etc. But that will lead you to the most effective, proven way to actually take your workflow, cut it in half while yielding and producing double, triple, quadruple the results. So that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.